Hey guys, welcome back. I am super excited that over the next couple of months I am going to be guest designing for Rosie's Studios. So today I am going to put together a 12 by 12 layout using the brand new Rare and Beautiful collection. Now I've already gone ahead and picked out this 12 by 12 paper. It's got this beautiful blue grid on it. I did an unboxing of this collection on my Patreon page with my patrons, and as I saw this paper I kind of already had an idea for how I wanted this layout to come together, and today I'm really just putting it all in place. What I'm doing here is I've placed my photo and I've decided to add it to sort of the top right hand corner of my page, and then I'm just adding a few little pencil guides, 3 on the top, the bottom, the left and the right, 3 little lines, and I'm going to do some stitching. So I took that over to my sewing machine and just, where my camera focuses, you can see here, I just stitched without thread down those pencil lines to give me my stitching holes. It was just a way quicker way of doing it than doing it by hand. Also, those holes are a little bit more regular. You can see here, after a whole bunch of stitching, and I will say it did take a little bit of time, this one. I have done all of those lines of stitching and they're just far more regular stitches than when I do it by hand. Sometimes I'm a little bit kind of hit and miss with how close together those stitches are. And now the rest of the layout is going to come together pretty simply. I am going to use this enormous pack of die cuts. I can't even tell you how many there are in here. I will link down below to Rosie Studios where you can check out this collection for yourself, but there are a million little die cuts in here, and the thing I love about it is some of those die cuts are very little, which I love. One of the things I struggle with a lot with die cut packs is that they can be super big, and even on a 12 by 12 layout, sometimes I find them really large to work with. So this is exactly the opposite. There are a whole bunch of tiny little ones in there. I've very roughly gone through the packet because, to be honest, I've already pulled out so many more that I'm going to need to use. And then you can see the enormous pile that I have left there. I've just pulled out a few because although I want to create a few layers in and around my photo, I also don't want to cover up all of the stitching I've done. I know that I'm going to add die cuts that are going to cover up my stitching. I've come to terms with that, but I don't want to cover up all of it, so I'm not going to add too many. I'm kind of going to build a cluster down here on this bottom left-hand corner of the photo, and I also want to build a smaller one on the top right. So I've really got that sort of diagonal vision sort of pulling your eye through the photo. The other thing that I want to do is I want to add in some of these wood veneers because they're so pretty. At the start there you saw the whole box full of wood veneers, so many cute shapes. I know, how did I avoid using a coffee cup one on here? I honestly don't know. But the florals, these little delicate florals are so pretty, and you'll see the delicateness of them is really kind of a good thing because I do end up breaking a couple of them so that I can add smaller pieces into this whole cluster. Now, to add a little bit of dimension, I'm going to add some craft foam, and I'm adding some behind my photo and behind this sort of larger tag that I've added down the bottom because I want to create my title from those puffy sticker words, and so to do that I kind of need a base layer for those to sit on. I don't want it to be behind too many little die cuts. I want the sort of larger, plainer ones behind that title so that it is easier to read. And so the little ones are going to go all around the edges there. So you can see me, I just trimmed off the bottom of that floral so that I could tuck it in under my photo because I've added the foam and adhered that down. Just trimming off that little piece just made it a little bit easier to tuck under there. It's not bumping anything up too much. I'm going to adhere the wood veneer and some of those die cut pieces down with some smart glue from scrapbook.com, but everything else I'm just adhering down with some tape runner. I am going to bump up some of the other pieces of foam. The little pink piece I've added in there is because I know I'm going to have to press down a title here. So this is the first part of my title, and it is the word brave, but it didn't quite fit where I've placed it. So I'm going to move that, and the die cut with the ampersand on it is going to become part of my title there. So I'm adding the word brave and creative, but you can see this is where I've got that tiny problem of the foam bumping up. The "iv" of my title is just flat over the pattern paper. So to help me out, help it out, and I could have just stuck it down and the title would have kind of sloped off the edge of the die cut cluster, but instead I'm cutting some very, very teeny little pieces of craft foam. They're not going to add too much in the way of kind of adhesive because they are very, very small, but they just stop that word from kind of falling down too much. So they add just a little bit of structure in behind there, and it just helps it just helps it stay a little bit flatter, especially once I pop this into, say, a pocket page. I don't want it to kind of get smushed too much. So I'm doing the same thing here with this little tiger chipboard. He's so cute, I had to use him. But the top half of him is going to sit on top of that tag, which is bumped up with the foam. So I really have just done the same thing. I've added a tiny little bit of foam to his legs so that he has a little bit of support. And some of these die cut pieces, they're, I guess, bridging some of the stitching and the pattern paper. So I am adding the smart glue to that instead of just using a tape runner. Now you can see I added another tiny little decorative piece of wood veneer, so I got 3 in there. And then I'm going to go to town with these puffy stickers. They are so cute. I'm adding a bunch of stars in all of these kind of more subtle colors. It's one of the things I love about this collection. I honestly don't know what it is, my love affair with muted shades at the moment, but this collection works perfectly with that. I'm adding a few little Heidi Swap Color Shine splatters here. I've got a little bit of this peach one left, and then I think that I'm done. What happened here is that I left my layout overnight. I stopped filming and I went and had dinner, and I came back the next day, and I don't do this very often, but I decided I wanted to carry on with the layout. I needed to add a little cluster down here at the bottom just to kind of balance out that largeness at the top, just something to give it a little bit of weight down here. And so all I do is add a few little bits and pieces, a tag, a chipboard piece, and another coffee cup in here. And I do add another little piece of that wood veneer just to kind of help tie it all in, as well as a few more of those gorgeous little puffy stickers. And I'm really glad I came back and added this extra little cluster in. I just feel like it really helps to balance out the entire page. Like I said, it's not something that I do a lot. I don't often come back and rework something that I'm not entirely happy with. My philosophy is always kind of, done is better than perfect, but this time I made an exception to my own rule, and I'm very glad that I did. Like I said, I will link to Rosie Studios down below. This is a gorgeous collection if you want to pick it up yourself. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.